The next new feature we want to look at is the offset command, which is actually a modified command. So what I would like to do is start my top view for this drawing, and I'm going to draw in a temporary line just to get me in the right spot. So I'm going to go back to the line command, use my object snap to the endpoint, and just draw a line that's 1 unit up so that I have the spacing that I actually want. So what I'd like to do now is draw the left section here. So I'll do at 1 comma 0, at 0 comma 4, at 0, -1 comma 0, and then close. And I can select this feature here, and I can, oops, I closed it to the wrong spot. So this is a good time to talk about modifying. So what I could do is drag this endpoint wherever I want, and you see that it didn't go where I wanted it to because I started my line segment here, so when it closed it returned here. So I can take this endpoint and I can just left click on it and drag it to where I want, and now I can delete that extra segment. Go back to the line command here, pick this as the endpoint, and then I'm going to use object snap tracking, which I have turned on. So I'm going to snap to this point down here and then just track perpendicular, and it allows me to get to that point exactly. Another way to do that is just use the line command, click here, and do at 1 2 3 4 comma 0, and then at what is that 0 comma -2, and then just use the perpendicular or midpoint as well. That'll work. So what I'd like to do is create a series of lines that are 1 unit apart here. So instead of drawing temporary lines, I'm going to use the offset command, which can be found under modify, and over here somewhere, here it is, offset. The shortcut's 0, which is why I never really know where the command is. I just type in, O. So type in O, and then you specify a distance, and here I want to offset 1 unit. I'll pick the line and then pick the side, and what it does is it creates similar components just a certain distance away. And now what I can do is look at the trim command. So the trim command is TR. What you want to do is select a cutting edge. So I'm going to use this horizontal line as a cutting line, hit space or enter, and now we're just going to pick the edges we want to trim away. And so when you use offset and trim, you can make quick work of features that are repeating or have patterns or even are one-offs, and then you can modify the geometry there as well. And that's just a different way instead of having to draw temporary lines and then remove them later. So again, let's try this. I'll just create a object snap tracking feature that's just as tall. I'm going to do an offset of 1 unit. Offset that over, hit space, do an offset of 2 units, and do it again. Alright, use the line command with my endpoints, so I'm just hitting escape and space to get out of it. Do an offset of 1 unit, and then go back to the trim command TR, with this being my cutting edge. You can actually just hit enter and use select all, so this is the default, and it'll use any feature as a cutting edge, which is what I do when I'm lazy. And then we can just click away the things we want and delete the things that we don't want.